This is my summary of Jordan Peterson's book 12 Rules for Life. So rule 5 is do not let your children do anything that makes you dislike them. Jane Goodall in 1974 discovered that chimpanzees were able to engage in intertribal warfare, which was clear evidence that they were capable of enacting murder out on each other. The adolescent chimps would patrol the edges of their territory and kill any other chimps that are not part of their group. Likewise, children, if left to their own nature untouched by society, would not produce morally decent and disciplined adults. It is wrong to lay violent pathologies at the feet of institutions and social structures, since it is reflected in our very nature. Children are damaged when not giving enough attention or care, failing to become observant and sharp. In doing so, children then become ignored by their peers, since they are not fun to play with, and thus neglect manifests itself in education, in their careers, and nearly everything they do, a consequence of their poor socialization. Also, parents are not meant to be the friends of their children. They are more than that, needing to discipline the child and to teach them right from wrong. Children act out aggression like hitting, since it is innate and facilitates their learning as to discovering the boundaries in what they can and can't do. Consistent correction or operant conditioning is necessary to enforce rules and leads to the regulation of impulses. Peterson recounts the time he persistently fed his son, who refused to eat, and persevered in getting a friend's son to sleep, who refused to sleep. Continually dispensing rewards and punishments helps to condition children by socializing them, paving the way for further development and relationships with peers and the rest of fellow society. Sleeping Beauty, according to Professor Peterson, is a story of the overprotective parent who, when trying to remove all negativity by not inviting maleficent and also by removing all the pinpricks, in turn brings about further harm. As a result, this leads to the creation of an emotionally unstable daughter who falls asleep, a symbol of choosing the unconscious childhood over adulthood, becoming Sleeping Beauty. The danger of overprotection is made manifest when children don't know how to handle the stresses and toils of everyday adult life, since they have no experience nor any defense mechanism prior hand. Limit the rules. Ultimately, Peterson believes that there shouldn't be too many rules, since that leads to overcomplication and frustration. Instead, the rules should be short, such as don't hit or cause anyone harm. Practice manners and do all that is required of you, like listening to an adult and going to bed properly. Treat others with respect and take care of your belongings. A second principle is to use minimum necessary force, to use the least of it possible when enforcing the rules. The magnitude of rules being broken should be punished with appropriate warning, and then increased incrementally. Physical punishment is permissible, but only for extremely threatening cases, especially when you need to teach a quick lesson when, let's say, a kid tries to jump in front of a car or places a fork into the electrical outlet. There are, however, many ways to punish, like the deprivation of liberty by forcing the child into the naughty corner. A third principle is that two parents are needed, since one parent who becomes worn out can continue having a break while the other is attentive to what the child is doing. A fourth principle is that parents should understand their own capacity for evil, anger, resentment, vengeance, arrogance, and deceit. Children can pick up their own parents' resentment and other vices, which can create a toxic family that is fueled by grudges and dominance. The last rule in raising children is to act as proxies for the real world, which would help bring about opportunity, security, and self-regard. Giving fair discipline and punishment protects the child from chaos, anxiety, and nihilism.